The second half of the HTFL season begins in earnest right now. Hello, everybody. This is Big Polly coming to you, and we begin week number 10. Well, actually, we began at about a half hour ago with our recap show of four games with teams with games with both teams had losing records. And this is the first of 12 games we're going to showcase for you over the next 2 weeks. This is actually game number 3 of week number 12 because games number 1 and 2 were the games that were recapped about a half hour ago. As you see this, I put that up at 6:30, and this will be first airing at 7. Today it's going to be Detroit traveling down Lake Erie to play Cleveland. These two teams met a few times in the 50s to determine NFL championships, so they are no strangers to each other in the historical sense. Cleveland, an 11-point favorite on a very strong winded day, a day full of wind or very breezy, whatever you want to call it. No precipitation in the forecast, but it is 42 degrees in Cleveland and the wind howling at 20 to 30 miles per hour. I'll be controlling Cleveland. Jim Brown needs 70 yards to have the rushing lead after week 10, as Walter Payton and LaShawn McCoy each went over 1,000 yards this week in the games that were not televised, Philadelphia beating Arizona and Chicago beating Atlanta. Detroit won the toss. The third Cleveland will receive. Game was in Cleveland. Matthew Stafford against Otto Graham. George Wilson against Paul Brown in the coaching box. Talk about an all-time great. Oh, let me switch the camera here, as I nearly forgot to do that. You would have missed out on some action, as happened last week when we had Seattle and San Francisco. Barry Sanders against Jim Brown. Talk about a marquee running back matchup of all time. We have Metcalf back deep, Mitchell and Motley also back deep for Cleveland. Detroit in the grayish uniforms, Cleveland in the brown. What else would they be? And we'll get this puppy started. That's Eric Metcalf. And he's got a nice return of 34 yards to the 45. By the way, we did find Kellen Winslow Jr.'s picture. There he is there. So he's no longer represented by his father. But let's go through the rest of the lineups for the Cleveland offense and the Detroit defense. For Cleveland's offense, Brown and Marion Motley are your running backs. Mitchell and Warfield at wideout. Kellen Winslow Jr. at tight end. Otto Graham quarterbacking. If you're wondering what college Otto Graham played at, Northwestern, but he also played for one of the colleges that briefly triggered up for World War II. I believe it was Great Lakes Naval Station or something like that. And the offensive line, Thomas, Hickerson, Mack, Willis, and Shafraff. For Detroit, Porche, Baker, Karras, Brown, your front four, Walker, Schmidt, Williams, your linebackers, Larry, Dahl, Hunter, and Quinn with one N, your free safety in the defensive backfield. And on 1st and 10, I'm going to give you a good guess who we're going to give the ball to start off. We're going to go Jim Brown, trap left to the weak side. The side the tight end was not on. And he gains 10 right out of the box. And on one play, Cleveland is in Detroit territory at the 45. So we'll see how things match up. I think Cleveland could go no wrong just keeping it on the ground because Detroit's DBs are pretty good. And the defensive line, they got a 9 and 8, a 9 and a 9. And with the passing game, you got 2 10 corners in Larry and Dahl, but your safeties are both 8, so I imagine Kellen Winslow Jr. might also get used a lot. Pitch it right with Jim Brown on 1st and 10 from the Detroit 45. Denver plays tomorrow night. against Carolina, and we'll talk about that a little more after the first quarter. A pitch to Brown, and he gets back to the line, and that's it. Brown, another Brown, this Brown right here, Roger Brown, he made the tackle on Jim Brown. 2nd and 10. We'll go to Winslow, in fact, right here, a medium hitch. Graham scrambles and gains 2. Now Cleveland has the wind to start off the first quarter, which means they will get it back in quarter number 4. And Detroit gets it for periods 2 and 3. 3rd and 8, ball at the 43. They'll go 3 wide, put a man in motion, be a short pass to Warfield. Blitz coming, so we'll change the short pass to a specific pass, a slant. But that's batted at the line by Porche. And Cleveland will have to punt. They should try a pooch punt here with Gary Collins. And there it goes. And there was a fumble. Walker recovered the fumble for Detroit. The return went nowhere, 0 yards. And Detroit starts from their own 6. 12:32 left, opening quarter, we have no score. For Detroit, your starting offense, Sanders and Taylor, Alty Taylor, are going to be your running backs. You see him there out of Utah State. Moore and Johnson, your wideouts. Not too bad a pair of wideouts there. Sanders, Charlie Sanders at tight end. Stafford quarterbacks. Brown, Stanfell, Glover, Sewell, Creekmore are your offensive line. For Cleveland, Ford, Brunette, Rimkus, Shirk, your front 4. Banks, Johnson, Matthews, your linebackers. Dixon, Minifield, Darden, and James, your defensive backs. And let's see what Detroit has in store for us on 1st and 10 from the 6. Stafford's going to pass from his own end zone, incomplete, into that strong wind, and Sanders lost it. I assume they meant Sanders the tight end, and not Sanders the running back. 2nd and 10 from the 6. Incomplete. Golden Tate comes in as a 3rd wide receiver. He's out of Notre Dame for 3rd and 10, and the ball still 6 yards from Detroit's own end zone. And that's a slant over the middle to Moore, who gains 5 yards, and Minifield made the tackle for Cleveland, and Detroit now has to kick into a very strong wind. Here's Earl Morrill back to punt. Yes, that Earl Morrill, for all you history buffs. Quarterbacks also in the 50s and 60s had to double as punters, and that was what Morrill did there. He punted it for 41. No return by Eric Metcalf. And Cleveland starts at their own 48 with 11:26 left opening quarter. Here's Jim Brown. He's going to trap it left, although Denver kind of had a shift on to the left side, which Brown ran into, and he only gains 1 yard. Schmidt on the stop for Detroit. You see him there, Joe Schmidt out of Pittsburgh. A 2nd and 9. They're going to use Motley here. Marion's probably like, about time he got the ball to me. No, Jim Brown was great, but I'm not chopped liver either. A gain of 4 for Motley. And Brown of Detroit makes the tackle for the Lions. And it's now a 3rd and 5. We're going to go Pete Brewster on the short cross. 2nd tight end. Incomplete. Just beyond the reach of Brewster. And Cleveland goes 3 and out. And they will have to punt from the line of scrimmage, being the 47 of Detroit. And here's Gary Collins. I've said a few times during these HTFL games, no, that's not the actor Gary Collins, who most famously was on a TV talk show back in the early 80s called Hour Magazine, and then was in a movie called Hangar 18. That was an interesting one for space conspiracy alien buffs, where he played with James Hampton, another great actor. 1st and 10 at the 4. Darren McGavin was in that movie too. 1st and 10 at the 4 for the Lions. McGavin, of course, was in A Christmas Story. And here I go talking about movies as Barry Sanders breaks into the open 40. to the 46. He picks up 42 yards on one play. That is his longest run of the season. We know from watching the highlight reel of Barry Sanders as I open up a Coke that he could go farther. And he could break one at any moment, and that's what Cleveland has to watch out for. First and 10 at the 46 as Detroit tries to flip the field position on Cleveland at the very least. Incomplete.
Holding. Offense.
And a hold against
Number
Detroit.
60. 10-yard penalty.
They get Stanful for holding, backing Detroit up 10, and it's going to be first and 20. 8:46 left opening quarter. We still have no score. Here's your first and 20 play. That was deflected by James. Let's look at Mr. James here. Tommy James without the Shondells. Of course, he played a little before the band of the 60s was very popular. Crimson and Clover and Crystal Blue Persuasions. Crystal Blue Persuasion, not Persuasions. Second and 20 at the 36. Here's Stafford. He throws incomplete to Calvin Johnson. That looked like a Nolan Ryan fastball coming out of Stafford. And it's now third and 20. All at the 36 still. A throw, incomplete. James. That deflected off of him for another incompletion. And now Stafford has started 1 for 6 for 5 yards in this game, even though we are not even halfway through the first quarter yet. Here's Romero the punt. And that's not a good punt. The returner, Metcalf, had to come up a little bit to field it, and he returned it 11 yards to the Cleveland 41. So Detroit nearly flipped the field on Cleveland, but the poor punt and the nice return by Metcalf. You can get 10 yards on a punt return or more. That's considered good. Cleveland in position again at the 41, about with the field position they had the first 2 times they had the ball. 8:17 left, opening quarter. We'll go off tackle right to Jim Brown. Don't forget James Brown, as John Cougar Mellencamp would say, a gain of a yard. And that was Baker on the tackle for the Lions, setting up a 2nd and 9 now from the 42. We'll go to Marion Motley, and we'll trap it left. Detroit was playing bunched in, a gain of a yard. Porcher on the tackle for Detroit. Detroit seems to know the plays before Cleveland calls them right now. And it's going to be a slant to Paul Warfield on 3rd and 8. But a sack, and that was by Joe Schmidt. A loss of 4 yards. Gary Collins back to punt. And with the wind at his back, this should be a good punt. He's punting from his 30, the line of scrimmage being about the 38. Fair caught by Watkins at the 15. The punt went 46, no return. 6:09 left, opening quarter. It is 1st and 10 Detroit at their own 15. Incomplete. Charlie Sanders, the intended receiver, and according to our intrepid spotters, that was his 2nd drop of the day. A 2nd and 10 now, same spot, the 15-yard line. A sack. Burnett with the hit on Stafford. Stafford is a native of Tampa, Florida, by the way. I believe he played for Plant High School in the Tampa area. Let's look at Burnett, the defensive end, Rob Burnett. You see him there out of Syracuse. 3rd and 16, the ball at the 9. 6:01 left in the opening quarter. There's a throw, completed to Golden Tate, and that's a gain of 19 yards. 1st and 10 at the 28. Wade Boggs also played at Plant High School, for those of you wondering. A gain of 5 for Barry Sanders. Tommy James made the tackle for Cleveland, and that sets up a 2nd and 5 at the 33. This to Sanders again, but this time he is stuffed at the line. And that's going to set up a 3rd and 5. Yes, I'm typing Matthew Stafford into Wikipedia so you all could get accurate information. Yeah, he's from Tampa, Florida, and yes, he did play for Plant High School. So I did get that accurate. 3rd and 5, ball at the 33. Sorry about that, folks. And Stafford back to throw. He finds over the middle Charlie Sanders, and that's a gain of 9 yards. 1st and 10 at the 41. Plant High School, one of the big powerhouses here in the high school football scene here in the Tampa Bay area. It's also the home of Wade Boggs, baseball player of note in the 80s, 90s. And that was a throw to Calvin Johnson. Dixon made the stop, and it's 2nd and 3 at the 48. And of course, Tampa was famous for producing a lot of several professional wrestlers, but most of those went to Robinson High School, which is a little up the road from Plant. That's a throw to Moore, a gain of 10. Barry Sanders now behind the center. He might get the direct snap here. He does. See if Cleveland was onto it. They were. Back to the line, and that's it. We have played a quarter. It is no score between Detroit and Cleveland. Here are your next 3 games. Tomorrow night, of course, as I record this on the 21st of September, little inside baseball. I record these games about a week in advance. I didn't plan it that way, but that's something that's kind of happened in my life. But the 29th is supposed to be the first presidential debate, and if you want to settle who is the better team all time, if you took the all-time players of each team between Carolina and Denver, well, that debate will get settled 7 o'clock tomorrow, if you are seeing this on Monday the 27th. Then Wednesday night, San Diego and New England do battle. And then Thursday night, we have Minneapolis traveling to Miami, a Super Bowl VIII rematch. And that's the next 3 games coming up right here on the HTFL, right here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims channel. Back to the game, and right here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims channel. That's what I was trying to say, but hey, I don't always get it right. 90 yards of offense for Detroit on 16 plays. Cleveland has had 9 plays and has only gained 15 yards. A 2nd and 10 at the 42 for Cleveland, for Detroit at the Cleveland 42. And that is Sanders with no gain, setting up a 3rd and 10. So now, critical play here, probably the most critical play Detroit has had, as I set up my slide for the end of the 3rd quarter. I always try to do these things a little bit in advance, so if I ever sound distracted, that's why. 3rd and 10 at the 42. It's Stafford. That's thrown to Sanders, who gains 14 yards. Charlie Sanders, and a 1st down. Darden makes the tackle. And let's look at Charlie Sanders out of Minnesota, played in the early 70s. His game logs. He has made 6 catches in a game twice, once against Chicago and the other time against Dallas, and his yardage high has been 35. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong column. His yardage high was 107 against Dallas. 1st and 10 at the 26 of Cleveland. Here's Detroit again. Of course, Cleveland was beaten by Cincinnati last week. Cincinnati has now beaten Cleveland twice in the 2 divisional meetings they have had, so that wouldn't bode well for Cleveland if Cincinnati winds up tied with them at the end of the year. 2nd and 5 at the 23. A sack, Matthews, and that's a loss of 10 yards. And that sets up 3rd and 15 now, ball the 33 of Cleveland. Now Detroit has the wind advantage, so they might get a field goal off here. Completed to Sanders, and that's good for 18 and a 1st. So Detroit enters the red zone for the first time today at the 15, a 1st and 10. Barry Sanders gains 3 yards. Remkus makes the stop for Cleveland. And if you were wondering about Mr. Rimkus, here he is, out of Notre Dame, could play offensive and defensive tackle. 2nd and 7 at the 12. And that's a loss of 2. Rimkus, who we were just showing. Speak of the devil, he makes the tackle there. 3rd and 9 at the 14. Sanders tries to throw it underneath to Barry Sanders, incomplete. So now Eddie Murray comes on, and with the wind at his back, this 31-yarder should be a chip shot. Not a cheap shot, but a chip shot. But he pushes it left. No good. So how about that? Cleveland takes over, and they got to be going, whew, that Detroit did not get a score there. Trap right, Jim Brown on 1st and 10. Detroit playing tight, but Brown still picks up 7 yards. And Roger Brown, I'm trying to commit that name to memory, he has made the tackle for Detroit. We're going to go play action medium pass. Try to catch the Lions napping. We're going to go Bobby Mitchell play action medium. Oh, just missed that one. Thomas, one of the tackles for Cleveland, hurt. Schwartz is going to come in at least for a few plays. You see him there. He's out of the University of California. A 3rd and 3 situation. It's going to be a screen to Jim Brown. Completed. And Brown, his pass catching skills should not be underrated. He gained 17 there. In fact, let's look at Jim Brown. Of course, you know he's out of Syracuse, and he had 74 yards against Cincinnati last week, which is his lowest, second lowest output of the season. And he's got 1,069 yards. LaShawn McCoy and Walter Payton have each gone over 1,000 yards in the untelevised games that we had, but he has caught twice. He's made 4 catches twice, and his high in terms of pass receiving yards was 55 against Kansas City, beating them 34-20. 1st and 10 at the 45. Trap right, Jim Brown. He goes back to the line, and that's it. Brown of Detroit makes the tackle, and the ball still at the 45. We're going to go dive with Jim Brown. His 7th carry of the day, and that gains 5 yards to get him to 24. And it's now a 3rd and 5 situation. They'll stay in the same offense, and they're going to look to Kellen Winslow Jr. here on the cross. But he can't hang on to it, incomplete. And Otto Graham has started 1 for 5, 17 yards. So again, Cleveland has to punt near midfield or at it. And here's Gary Collins. And that is caught by Watkins at the 13. He loses 3 on the return. So Detroit in a hole. At their own 10, we have no score. We have 6:35 left in the half. 1st and 10, Detroit. Matthew Stafford right over the middle to Calvin Johnson. A gain of 16. Calvin Johnson out of Georgia Tech. A lot of people say he retired a little too soon. But he has had games. He has had 2 games where he has had more than 100 yards passing. Actually, 3 if you count the game with Minnesota. And the most catches he has had in one game was 12 for 169 against St. Louis in a 45-20 losing effort to the Maroons. 1st and 10 at the 26. This is Barry Sanders. No gain. And that sets up a 2nd and 10. Same spot. Alty Taylor. Gain of 5 yards. Matthews on the stop for Cleveland. Setting up a 3rd and 5 at the 31. This is Stafford, and he's going to run this time, and he gains 12. That is a 1st down. And didn't see who made the tackle for Detroit. For Cleveland, I beg your pardon. 1st and 10 at the 43. That's Sanders. He gains 4 yards. Banks makes the tackle. That is Chip Banks. You see him there out of USC. His best defensive effort was a 10-tackle game against Buffalo and a 28-17 win there. 2nd and 6, nearing the end of the first quarter. First half, I'm sorry.
Offense. Number 76, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Creekmore called for the false start, and it's 2nd and 11. Ball at the 42. Long throw, caught by Calvin Johnson, a gain of 17. And that moves the ball to Cleveland territory at the 41, a 1st and 10 there. That's a throw and a catch to Herman Moore. He picks up 13. Let's take a look at Herman Moore real fast before they call another play. He's out of Virginia. He has not had more than 4 catches in a game, and his best yardage effort was 62 against Houston in the 20-10 win there. 1st and 10 at the Cleveland 29. Incomplete. And that was to Charlie Sanders. 2nd and 10 now. Same spot, the 28. Stafford was flushed out of the pocket, rolled to his right, and then threw the other way to Taylor. He gained 3 yards. And that should be the last play before the 2-minute warning. It is. And we have no score, but Detroit threatening with 3rd and 7 at the 25. Stafford, 1st down. That is to Herman Moore. Picked up 11. Cleveland not using their timeouts. Detroit has 3. Cleveland has 3. 1st and 10. A $1:48 on the clock. A pitch to Barry Sanders. Gets back to the line, and that's it. Ford on the tackle for Cleveland. 2nd and 10. Detroit just content to let the clock run. Sanders close to the 1st, and he gets it at the Cleveland 4. 59 seconds left. And he got out of bounds, so that stops it with 59 seconds to go. Stafford, sacked by Banks.
Encroachment, defense.
But that will come back. 80. Ford called for encroachment. One of the 2 defensive ends Cleveland has, Len Ford, you see him there. Can also double as a tight end wide receiver. 1st and goal at the 2 now. Alty Taylor, touchdown. And Detroit surprises many of the experts by taking a 6-0 lead. Your point after, good by Murray. And with 46 seconds left in the half, it is 7-0. Detroit leading, and they get the ball to start the second half. Here's Metcalf back deep. He's going to return it, although it looked like he was about halfway deep in his end zone. And Gatsky, not so great on that play. He got called for holding, and Cleveland will start from their own 7. They'll pitch it to Brown. They don't want to make a mistake deep in their own end. Instead, it'll be a screen to Brown, which is completed. 10, a 1st down, a gain of 11. With 28 seconds to go, Cleveland is actually going to call a timeout. They have 2 left. Motley, screen, and a blitz coming again from Detroit, so this should work good. It does. Motley to the 30, past the 30 to the 33. And a pickup of 15. Cleveland again will bang a timeout. They have 1 left. Winslow, medium hitch on 1st and 10. Dump to Brown. That's a gain of 5. 8 seconds to go. And Cleveland could go for a long pass here. They'll be too far out of range for the Hail Mary. And they're throwing into a stiff breeze. But they're going to try it anyway. They'll bring 4 wide in. Man in motion. Trips to the left side. So you got Warfield, Benton, and Gary Collins all over on one side. And they're going to look for Warfield here. Just throw it up in the air and hope something good happens. There it goes. Incomplete. And that's the half. It's 7-0 Detroit. So let's take a look at the stats. Detroit has called 36 plays, and they have got 211 yards. Cleveland has only had 19 and has only gained 75. Look at the time of possession here. Yeah, they've had it almost 2-1. They held the ball 19 minutes and 40 seconds in the first half. Only 4 penalties. And Detroit has had 2 sacks. Stafford 14 of 22, 150 yards, and Graham off to a very slow start, 4 for 9 and 48 yards. Detroit's returners on the kickoffs: Watkins, Fennenbach, and Walker. There it goes. It's Watkins from about his 5.
Holding.
He
Receiving
gains
team.
21 to the 27. Wayne Walker, called for holding. And it's 1st and 10 at the 13. Screen to Alty Taylor, but Taylor could not find a handle on that. It was thrown in a dangerous spot. 2nd and 10 at the 13. Detroit came in 3 and 5. Cleveland came in 6 and 2, leading the Upper North Division. In fact, they were leading the North Conference, as we laid out on the recap show earlier. 3rd and 7 at the 16. That was a 3-yard gain. Off-tackle run by Alty Taylor. Now 3rd and 7. Throw. Caught. 1st down. Calvin Johnson tackled by Dixon after a gain of 20. So now, 1st and 10 at the 35. Detroit moving the ball quite well on Cleveland. That's a throw and a catch to Herman Moore. Minifield makes the stop for the Browns, and it's now 1st and 10 at the 48. Stafford, plenty of time to throw. Another throw and catch to Charlie Sanders. Darden makes the stop for Cleveland, and that gains 11 yards. With the wind, Stafford's in beast mode. He's 17 of 26, 193 yards. 1st and 10 at the 41 of Cleveland. This is the 6th play of the drive. Alty Taylor, no gain. Burnett on the tackle for the Browns. 2nd and 10 at the 41. Paul Brown with his fedora on, pacing the sidelines. Taylor that time loses 3, and Burnett made the tackle on him. 3rd and 13 at the 44. Must-throw situation here for Detroit to Golden Tate, and he gains 10. Short of the 1st down, but Detroit has the win, so they're going to try a 51-yard field goal. Eddie Murray coming on to try to make it a 2-score game. Snap is down. The kick pushed right. No good. That was Earl Morrill on the hold, for those of you keeping score of such things. And Cleveland now, again, with another reprieve from the governor. They trail 7-0 with 9:32 left in the 3rd. We'll go right back to Jim Brown. Trap it right. And hope he could bust a play one of these days. A fumble recovered by Brewster of Cleveland. And all in all, the play gained 4 yards. Brewster, one of the tight ends. Let's take a look at him, because he just saved Cleveland's bacon there. He's out of Purdue. 6'3", 210. And it's 2nd and 6. A pitch to Brown. And Brown close to the 1st down, and they get it. To the Detroit 48. Brown, 9 carries, 35 yards. Remember, he needs 70 to exit Week 10 with the rushing lead, unless anybody has an unconscious game in these next 12 games that you'll be seeing here on the HTFL. A trap left Jim Brown. You're just going to keep feeding the ball to Brown. Why wouldn't you? Blitz, but Brown beats it for 3 yards. 2nd and 7. Motley, trap left. Blitz coming, so they will change it to a screen pass, or a screen play, if you will. Motley's got it. 40, 30, past the 25 to the 22. And a gain of 23 yards. 1st and 10 at the 22. Back to Brown on the pitch right. Cleveland keeps trying to probe the perimeter of the Detroit defense. A gain of 4 that time. Williams on the tackle for Detroit. Jimmy Williams, you see him there, out of Cornhusker country, the University of Nebraska. 2nd and 6. They will go Marion Motley on the straight ahead dive. But another blitz coming, so they will change that to a screen. And Motley's caught a few of those today. And he catches another one. 10, 5, book it, touchdown. His third catch of the day, 56 yards all told. And now a touchdown for Motley. And it's 7-6. Here's your extra point effort. Good. Bard
Personal
just
foul,
got that one
defense.
inside the
15-yard
crossbar. And Alex Karras has gone off. He commits a personal foul. Tried to rough up one of the Cleveland linemen on the extra point. So Cleveland, the animation is a little odd. Imagine those upbacks being a little farther back from Detroit. Detroit's going to kick from the 50. A 7-7 tie, 5:31 left. Watkins back deep, hoping to get a hand on this. It's an angled kick taken by Watkins and a good return to the 19, considering he started at the 2 and he was kind of hemmed in. 1st and 10 Detroit at the 19 with 5:22 left in the third quarter. We have a old-fashioned slobber knocker here, a 7-7 tie right now. Sanders, both teams trying to establish the run, a gain of 6. Detroit has 18 carries as a team for 83 yards. Cleveland 14 for 49. 2nd and 4 at the 25. Detroit giving Cleveland all kinds of trouble in this game so far. Gain of 7. That was to Alty Taylor. Just like we saw last week, Chicago gave Green Bay all they could handle on Monday night, at the end of Week 9, but the Packers found a way to get it done in overtime. 1st and 10 at the 32. Screen to Taylor? Yes. Will he get the first down? Yes. And it's a gain of 17. It was Matthews knocking him out for Cleveland. Actually pulled him down. He didn't knock him out of bounds. He made the tackle. 1st and 10 at the 49. Right on there, still on their own half of the field. Barry Sanders, no gain. Alty Taylor, no gain. And it's 2nd and 10 at the 49. If you're wondering about Barry Sanders, 11 carries, 64 yards, 1 catch for 4. 2nd and 10 at the 49. It's going to be a wide receiver screen to Golden Tate. 50, 40. First down, a gain of 11. Dixon makes the stop for Cleveland. So Detroit showing no fear running the ball on Cleveland, or moving the ball well on Cleveland on both the running and the passing games. Cleveland does not have any standout players on the defense, but they've still gone 6-2 regardless of it. 1st and 10 at the 40 of Cleveland. Here's Alty Taylor again. He gains 3. Minifield on the stop as we near the end of the third quarter now. 2nd and 7 at the 37. Barry Sanders trapped behind the line. He loses a yard.
Grabbing the face mask. Defense.
Oh, but Cleveland's going to give it back and then some.
15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Banks grabs the face mask, and it's now a 1st and 10 at the 22. 1:01 left in quarter number 3. Sanders has himself a touchdown, and Detroit retakes the lead. Extra point try by Murray. Good, and it's 14-7. So Cleveland tied the game with the Marion Motley touchdown, but within 5 minutes, Detroit has come off the deck and has answered. And it's a 14-7 Lion lead. Late in the third, Eric Metcalf, son of Terry Metcalf, who plays for plays for St. Louis on that Maroon team. And that's going to be downed for a touchback. 1st and 10 at the 20. Graham's got to get it going here. 6 out of 11, 89 yards. That Detroit defensive backfield pretty good. Schmidt, Larry, and Dahl, all 10s. Schmidt a linebacker, Larry and Dahl being corners. Trap it left with Jim Brown. See if they can catch Detroit off guard. And they kind of do, an 18-yard gain. Hunter with the tackle. And with Cleveland getting the wind advantage, they will let the clock run out for the third quarter. Your score at the end of 45, Detroit 14, Cleveland 7. Coming up for you, we already know what the match of the week will be next week right here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sim channel. Farmer Burns, who has the week off this week, this week that just passed, will be facing Hiroyoshi Tenzan, a journeyman wrestler from Japan who has done quite well in GSW. And that will be, the initial airtime of that will be Saturday, October the 3rd, 7 o'clock bell time, right here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims channel. Can anybody defeat Farmer Burns? We'll see. 14-7, Detroit leads. We have 15 minutes left to go in regulation as we start the fourth quarter. Jim Brown, 12 carries, 60 yards. Cleveland as a team, 152 yards on 26 plays. Detroit has 330 yards on 51 plays. Off tackle left, Jim Brown, 1st and 10. Detroit was playing with a tight defense. That's a gain of 2. And that was Schmidt who made the stop. Schmidt's been all over the place today for Detroit. That sets up 2nd and 8. Trap left, Brown. Back to the line, and that's it. They were keying on Brown then. And with 14 carries, I could see why Detroit would use that as a tendency. 3rd and 9. It's going to be a short hitch to Winslow. Blitz coming. And Detroit called timeout on defense, actually. To Motley. Actually, they can't use Motley on the screen. They're going to use Mitchell. Actually, they're kind of flummoxed as to what to do. Remember, Cleveland has the wind advantage now, but Detroit playing a very conservative defense here, passing-wise. Cross to Winslow, 3rd and 9.
False start.
And we have a marker.
Offense, number
yeah, you can see Cleveland was not
penalty.
set.
Repeat, 3rd down.
And that was Shafrath, wherever you want to pronounce his name, called for the false start. And it's 3rd and 14. So not good news if you're a Cleveland Brown fan. We're going to go medium slant to Kellen Winslow. 3rd and 14. Graham's going to run, but he's got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Gain of 6. Joe Schmidt with the tackle and Jerry Reed with the lyrics. 4th and 8 at the 40. Here's the punt by Gary Collins. And that was a loss of 2 on the return by Watkins. The punt went 46 to the net. Will be 48. And Detroit trying to hang on to the lead and to the upset here. They lead 14-7, ball to 12. Stafford over the middle. That's Charlie Sanders, a gain of 13. Sanders on the day, 6 catches, 86 yards. That's Sanders, the tight end. So now, Detroit has a 1st and 10 at the 25. Incomplete. Stafford, I think, was looking for Barry Sanders that time. Let's just look at the replays to confirm that. No, I don't want you up here. I want you to look at the replay. Yeah, they were looking for Barry there. 2nd and 10 at the 25. This is a give to Alty Taylor. Alty's got to get the first down. He gained 11. Minifield had to come up from the defensive backfield and make the tackle. 1st and 10 at the 36. I wonder if that Cincinnati game last week exposed a hole in the game plans for the Browns and how other teams play against the Browns. That's a gain of 5 for Taylor, Alty Taylor, and he now has 10 carries, 26 yards. A 2nd and 5 at the 41. They go to Taylor again for his 11th carry, a gain of 7. He has as many carries as Barry Sanders does. First and 10 at the 48. Over the middle, incomplete. That was Johnson, the intended receiver. Dixon with good coverage for the Browns. Second and 10 at the 48. Pitch to Barry. He'll be close to the first, but let's check the
Holding
marker.
offense. Number 66.
Oh, it's going to come back.
10-yard penalty.
That's against Sewell. And Cleveland will gladly take that penalty. And that sets up a second and 20 at Detroit's own 38. Over the middle, Calvin Johnson.
Offsides. Defense. Number 29. 5-yard penalty.
Detroit takes that penalty. And it's second and 15. We have had 11 penalties so far in this game. 9:27 left in the fourth. Incomplete.
Holding. Defense. Number 31.
That's a first down.
5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
So unbelievably, Cleveland just keeps giving Detroit ways to keep the ball. Ninth play of the drive for Detroit, and they haven't even crossed the 50 yet. First and 10 at the 48. This could be a backbreaker for the Browns.
Holding. Offense.
And another
Number
penalty.
76. 10-yard
Penalty's
penalty.
just not stopping. And now it'll be first and 20. Ball to 38, 9:07 left in regulation. This is a little give to Barry, and Barry gained 7 yards. Don Paul, hurt on that last play. He came in as an extra defensive back, and he should be back in a few plays, maybe the next time they use him. Second and 13 at the 45. Quick throw to Moore, who gains 4. Minifield, his 10th tackle on the day. Herman Moore has 6 catches for 55 yards. Third and 9. Ball at Detroit's own 49. 11th play of the drive, which never crossed the 50. Talk about an unusual series of downs. That was it. 4th and 9 at the 49. I'm going to watch for a fake. And that was a bad punt. That was a terrible punt by Earl Morrill. Only 22 yards. Looked like he kicked that off the side of his foot. First and 10 Cleveland. Ball at their own 29. We have 8:18 left. Two teams in the Northern Conference doing battle. Detroit in the upper north. Cleveland in the lower north. Trap right, Motley. Again, Cleveland playing bunched up. Here's Motley with a hole. He gains 11. That's his third carry of the day for 16 yards. First and 10. Trap right, Jim Brown. But it's a blitz coming, so we're going to change it. Screen to Motley, who's had a few of these catches. 40, 50, 40 to the 37. A gain of 23. Nicely done by Marion Motley. He has 4 catches, 79 yards. First and 10 at the 37. Now, could this be a time where you go long? And that's what I'm thinking here. Warfield, play action long pass. Look for 42. Instead, it's a dump to Mitchell, who gains 14. And move the chains again for Cleveland at the Detroit 23 with 6:29 left to go. Motley, trap left. Number 76 comes at you from the backfield and gains 8 yards. Second and 2. We'll go Brown. Trap left. Free safety in run support. So let's change this to a medium fly to Bobby Mitchell. Graham runs. 10, 5, touchdown. Otto Graham calls his own number, and we're a point away from a tie game. There's your point after by Matt Barr, and we're dead even, 14 and 14. 4:54 left in the fourth. Watkins, again, back deep for Detroit. Catches it just in front of the goal line and returns it to the 19, a gain of 18. 377 total yards for Detroit, 230 for Cleveland, but this game is tied. First and 10 at the 19. Screen to Taylor. And Taylor with running room 30, 35 to the 38. And a gain of 19 yards. First and 10 at the 38. Over the middle. Charlie Sanders, and he has a 100-yard game receiving, and Matthew Stafford now at 310 on the day. So that both of those things happen on the same play. First and 10 at the 48. Barry Sanders. Oh, he's got a hole. Gain of 9. And now with the clock ticking away, and that's not favoring Cleveland. Detroit answering the bell once again. First, second and 1 at the 39. Stafford looking like a world beater at this point. He throws to Calvin Johnson. He gains 19 yards. And Detroit is quickly into the red zone on 4 plays. First and 10 at the 20. Stafford incomplete, looking for Herman Moore. Shirk hurt, but will stay in the game. See him there. He's looking a little tired. Second and 10 at the 20. Stafford to Moore. 6 points. Detroit with a quick answer. 7 plays is all they needed. Here's your point after by Murray. He's good. And it's 21-14. 2:06 left. 6 plays, 81. It was 6 plays, 81 yards, and took 2:36 off the clock. And now Cleveland has to answer again. Metcalf back deep. He's 3 yards deep. He's going to try to make something happen here. Here's the return for him. Past the 20. Not a bad return. Out to the 26. 2-minute warning now. 1:58 to go. Cleveland with all 3 timeouts. Detroit has 2. They'll look to Brown, who needs 9 yards for the passing lead, rushing lead, but he might not get them. Screen on first and 10 to him. He's got the first. 30, 40 to the 41. No huddle being called by Otto Graham. Of course, back in his day, I don't think they had a no huddle offense. Slant to Bobby Mitchell on first and 10 from the 41. He's got it. Past midfield. A gain of 14. Again, no huddle. Jim Brown to the outside on a run. Try to cross him up on first and 10 from the 45. A gain of 4. That gets him to 65 yards. And now Cleveland will call timeout. We have 1:08 left in the game unless we go overtime. 21-14 Detroit. To Winslow on a short hitch. He was standing on the corner, but he wasn't in Arizona. A gain of 12 and a first down. And again, Cleveland goes no huddle. Brown pitches it to the right side. And that gives him the rushing lead. 20. A nice call there by the Browns. Gained 20 yards. Gutsy call. 38 seconds left. And now Cleveland will burn their second timeout. They have 1 left. Ball at the 9. Short pass to Mitchell. First and 10. Incomplete. 35 seconds to go. How about Brown on a short pass? Incomplete. 3rd and goal. They're going to go double tight end. And they are going to go trap left Brown just to get him a little closer. And Brown's got the touchdown. We're a point away from a tie game again. Not a bad call by Paul Brown to use Jim Brown there with a run. It's 21-20. Here's your point after try. Good by Barr. And we're dead even. 21 all. 22 seconds left in the 4th. Angled kick. Coming from Cleveland. Watkins with a nice return to the 36. 13 seconds left. If you're Cleveland, you're going to play prevent here. Stafford goes underneath, incomplete. Herman Moore wanted the flag. 10 seconds to go. Stafford, incomplete. 7 seconds left. Now you send everybody back. In case Stafford wants to throw a long pass. Incomplete. 2 seconds left. So, I'm going to go for the block. What do I have to lose here? Fair caught. We'll go to overtime, it looks like. Metcalf made the fair catch at the 40. If this were a real game, although Cleveland would have started at the 25, they could have done a free kick. But you would be asking somebody to kick the kick a field goal 80. What would it have been? 85 yards? Not possible. We'll go to overtime. Detroit wins the OT kick, so we will go right back to them. Cleveland still has the wind advantage for the overtime period, and that might come into play. Watkins back deep for Detroit. He'll return it a little inside his goal line out to the 19. So here we go, folks. In HTFL rules, it's like the old NFL rules. First team to score wins the game, whether that be by safety, field goal, or touchdown. That's simple. It's none of this you get the ball and I get the ball. But if I score a touchdown, I win kind of business the NFL uses now. It is the old NFL rules. First team to score wins the game. First and 10 at the 19. In the flat to Moore. He gains 7. Matthew Stafford with a season high 356 yards passing. 21-21. Stafford 28 of 45. 29 of 45 with 2 touchdowns. Second and 3. Barry Sanders fumbles, and Cleveland's got it. Minifield with the recovery. And we will go to the roster and profile him because he might have just done something here that might help Cleveland win the game. Minifield out of Louisville was on some of those great Cleveland teams back in the late 80s with Marty Schottenheimer and Bernie Kosar at quarterback. A first and 10 for Cleveland. We're going to go Motley, trap right. And Motley with a gain of 4 yards. Cleveland has the wind advantage. If they had to kick a field goal from here, it would be a 65% chance that Matt Barr would make it. Trap left, Jim Brown. They're just going to play it safe. Gain of a yard. A third and 5. Back to Motley. Off tackle right. Wouldn't hurt if he got a first down. Shofrath hurt on the last play. He will be carted off, or yes, he will be limping off and won't return. So Mitchell Schwartz comes in for the rest of the game, such as it is. A 4th and 2 at the 26. Matt Barr comes on. A 43-yard field goal to win it. Pushed it right. No good. We continue on. Detroit takes over. 12:29 left in the OT. First and 10 at the 33. Oh, Cleveland's going to wish they had that. Gain of 18 to Herman Moore, who has gone over 100 on the day. In fact, he's right at 100. So Detroit with 2 receivers with over 100 yards. And Stafford has thrown for over 300. Closing in on 400. Darden his 10th tackle. And Sanders with another big catch to move him to 116. And now Cleveland on the ropes. First and 10 at the Cleveland 33 for Detroit. Stafford to Alty Taylor. He gains 7. Stafford needs 3 more yards for 400. Second and 3 at the 25. Alty Taylor. No gain. Calvin Johnson. Not Calvin Johnson, but another Johnson. That would be Mike Johnson. He made the tackle. Third and 3 at the 26. The throw incomplete. Now Murray comes on, and he will try a 43-yarder to win it, which is what Matt Barr just had. But the problem is, Detroit has a wind going right into their faces. The snap down, and Detroit wins the game. Cleveland had the wind advantage, missed a field goal of similar distance. Detroit hits the field goal. Eddie Murray, a hero. And it's 24-21. Detroit wins the game. MVP of the game was Matthew Stafford. So that was a good one, folks. Nice way to kick off week number 10 here in the Hometown Football League. And we will take a look at the scoring. We had 5 minutes, 26 seconds of overtime before Eddie Murray put it away. And Cleveland's going to fall to 6-3. And they might lose their number one seeding in the Northern Conference. 514 yards for Detroit, 312 for Cleveland. Cleveland was perfect in the red zone, though. 3 touchdowns on 3 possessions. Detroit, in the 65 minutes plus of playing time, had the ball 41 minutes. Ran 76 plays. Cleveland only ran 45. We had 12 penalties in the game. 1 turnover, Detroit. And that's about it. 31-17 was the first down tally. Player stats. Yeah, Stafford deserved player of the game honors. Let's see who the leading tackler was. That was Minifield, who made 12 tackles for Cleveland. And your leading tackler is in the defensive backfield. That's usually a problem. So I could see why Detroit won this game. The final, 24-21. So with that, Cleveland now 6-3 in the lower north, which means Cincinnati and Baltimore with a win could cut it to a game. And Cincinnati has beaten Cleveland twice head-to-head, so if they wind up tied, Cincinnati will get the nod. And when it comes to Detroit, Detroit is now 4-5, and they might be making a move in the upper north. And if Minnesota or Green Bay win, they will move past Cleveland. Whoever leads the division will be the number one seed. We know that much. Detroit, very interestingly, has won their games. A field goal win over Minnesota. Their second win was a field goal win against Green Bay. They won by 10 against Houston, and now their fourth win was a field goal win. So they have won all 4 games by 19 points total. Jim Brown did indeed take the rushing lead by 26 yards over Walter Payton. It's now at 11:38. So somebody down beneath these 3, Brown, Payton, and McCoy. Payton and McCoy have already played their games this week. Somebody's going to have like a Superman effort to catch up to Jim Brown. Jim Brown will most likely be the rushing leader when Week 10 is over with. So your next 3 games, Denver, Carolina tomorrow. We'll settle that great debate. San Diego, New England Wednesday. Minnesota, Miami Thursday. And then Los Angeles, Tennessee, Washington, Houston on Friday. And then we'll start you off with this time next week with another good game, Green Bay, traveling to the Edward Jones Dome to play the St. Louis Maroons. So we have some good action for you right here on the HTFL for week number 10. Hope you enjoyed today's game. Again, a 24-21 win for Detroit in overtime. This has been Big Paulie coming to you. We wish you well, no matter where you are, no matter when you see this. Godspeed and God bless. And good night for now, everybody.